For today's chore, which is basically using Plastigauge to see if the bearings in this engine seem to be any good and if they're operating within tolerance. So tolerance is located here on a spec sheet, which I have, this sheet breaks down pretty much every spec with regard to this engine, even down to its weight and length and height. And I've prepared a little thing for each of the cylinders, each of the piston or rod journals, and then each of the 7 main bearings in this engine family. Up here is the torque wrench with a 1/2 inch on it. This is a little bit speedier version that'll help me get them off. These will help me get them on. This is the Plastigauge, which is a filament, almost like fishing line. You see in here, there is a green filament. I don't know, can you see that? There you go, you can see that in that background. And you basically cut off an inch of that or so, and you lay it in between the bearing and the rod, and then or the cap, and then you squeeze things back together. And then once you're done squeezing it back together and torquing it to spec, you take it apart and then you read how thick that little filament has become when the bearing crushed it, and what width is it. And here's a little scale of widths that tell us whether or not that might be within spec according to the specification sheet that I showed you earlier. So today I have a screwdriver also with me to help me turn the flywheel that's on the engine. The engine's on the stand with the flywheel, and I have a handy dandy rag for cleaning the crank journal, the rod cap, and the main cap, and the bearings, and getting all the oil off them before we put it back together and do the crush. So I'm going to change the camera angle, and then we'll get back to it and do the whole job. I'm going to do one and lay out how we're doing it step by step, and then I'm just going to do the remainder in fast mo. Thanks for watching.